Hey there, Wastelander. It's McFly back again with another Fallout 76 video. In this one, we're going to be kicking off the spooky season just right with a top 5 Halloween camp locations. So whether you're building a haunted house, a pumpkin patch, or maybe even something more lore-friendly, hopefully one of these locations will help fit that atmosphere you're looking for. Last year I went for more of like a contemporary build, and then I acted as if it was having like a Halloween party at the house. But this year, I think I want to get a little spooky. I think I'm thinking more witches, like a witch's brew. I don't know, that's the first thing that pops into my brain. I really want to use that cauldron that we got a while ago. But I'll stop rambling. Let's get into the first location. Starting with number 5, we're going to head into the Northern Savage Divide. More specifically, at the North Mountain Lookout. Now, it's just your average ranger tower. They're spread out throughout the whole Appalachia map. But this particular station has some nice Halloween lore to it. The rangers stationed here clearly had a love for Halloween. And at the expense of their employer, they didn't seem to want to listen and take down the decorations. And I'm sure I don't have to remind you to why they never got taken down. Now, about placing your camp, you can't actually go on the location itself, but if you spawn in and go a little bit to the left, you'll be able to put your house basically on the property. And I threw this one in here as number 5 because I figured if anyone wants to roleplay as that one park ranger that just loves Halloween, you have the outfit and then a bunch of decorations up there. Maybe you can make like your little house down here. You could get creative with it. I just thought it'd be something nice to throw in. I would especially recommend this place for someone who doesn't have all the Atomic Shop Halloween items. You really get to enjoy the aesthetic of the Atomic Shop items without having to pay for it. And alongside that, you can find pumpkins under the table. If you decide to roleplay as that park ranger, you can find that outfit there. Also on the table, you can find the witch's hat. On the floor by the sleeping bags, you can find the skeleton outfit. And if you're really feeling cheeky, you can look inside the cauldron for some candy. And last but not least, one of the best aspects of this location is you'll almost never be alone. Most of the time you'll have an NPC up top here with you, and more often than not you can talk to them and they'll give you some kind of reward or maybe some kind of like consumable or maybe a magazine or something. Moving on to location number 4, we're going to stick around in the Savage Divide just a little bit longer, but we're going to head southeast to the Pumpkin House. Now we got to remember, it does get lonely out here in the wasteland, and our friend Jack-o'-lantern here could really use a good neighbor. Also, it's pretty ridiculous how close to this house you can get, so like, why not? That's right, you can go to the left, but you will be a little ways out. I much recommend you go to the right of the house, that way you can get right up on it. This is actually where I built my camp last year that I was talking about at the top of the episode. And from my experience, I would definitely recommend this location for someone who wants to sell a lot of stuff this Halloween season. I saw a huge increase in foot traffic at my vendors last year when I was camped here. I think you get a lot of people from that daily quest for the pumpkins next door. And then that too is also something nice to have on your doorstep every day when you log in. And then on top of all that, you have more pumpkins than you need. So have at it. Up next at number 3, we're still going to stick around in the Savage Divide. This time heading a little bit more south to the Hopewell Cave. Now I'm sure the seasoned Appalachians know what houses in this cave, but for those who don't, make sure you bring a lot of firepower. Unfortunately, we're not going to be disturbing the Deathclaw nest today. No, the spot we're looking for today is actually on top of the cave. You can either go to the right or the left. I prefer the left. And you want to head all the way up to the very top of the cave. This is actually a pretty well-known spot. It was definitely a number 1 pick last year for Halloween. I saw a lot of different houses here. Of course, I could not make a Halloween camp location video without it, and I'm going to stick it here at number 3, mainly because it's not fully decked out for Halloween, but it can definitely be the perfect atmosphere for all those haunted house builds that are coming. The way I see it is, haunted houses and cemeteries basically just go hand in hand. But this location is definitely interesting like the rest. It comes with a couple outfit hats, and when it comes to decorations, obviously you have the tombstones and all the different graves. They help out a lot. If you have one of those smoke machines, I'd bet that would look awesome. And around nighttime, it actually lights up pretty nice. It has like a nice little vibe to it. I have no idea where the power is coming from, but maybe that's part of the mystery. And then you also have a pumpkin scarecrow. And then of course the best news is you can put the plot right in the middle of the cemetery if you want. It doesn't really matter. Moving on to number 2, we're going to be heading down to the southwest Ash Heap. Now this location is a little bit off the beaten path. So to get there, we're actually going to have to fast travel to the Hornwright Estate. You could follow on screen, or if you feel comfortable cutting through the forest, you can just do like a beeline through the forest. You might run into some cultists, but hey, that's the fun of it, right? This location is pretty interesting for many reasons. I'd say number one is that you couldn't always place your camp here. I have no idea when it was made available, but I tried to make a similar video to this last year, and at that time of that recording, I could not place a camp here, and I was actually just going to recommend the pumpkin patch down the road. But whether it was Todd or just dumb luck, I am super thankful because this location just screams Halloween. Now I can't really say this one's on the spooky end, it is just like another house, but it is decked out to the nines with decorations. Even just the front yard alone is a pumpkin patch by itself, mixed in with these big Halloween decorations, and you have a full-fledged house that you can add to, let alone all the rare items that this house does have. But once again, I would definitely recommend this to someone who does not have Atomic Shop decorations, and this house does have like a home sweet home kind of vibe. But if you couldn't tell from my excitement about it, I gave this one the number 2 spot mainly because we can place our camp here, and what can I say? It screams Halloween. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. And here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. Happy Halloween! The number 1 Halloween camp spot, in my opinion at least. This is another location that's just in a random spot out in the middle of the woods, but to get there we're going to fast travel southwest of the mire to Moth Home. And without disturbing any cultists, if you follow on screen, it'll take you up a little embankment into this little spot between some trees. Now you'll see this location is not like the others on the list. There really is not much to this one, but I think that's what I love about it the most. It has like a simplicity to it, but then it also has some dark, mysterious implications. Once getting up onto the flat of the cliff, you'll find what seems to be a picnic spot, but once you start to do some environmental investigations, you start to realize that this might have been a meeting of witches. 4 corpses around what seems to be some form of, well, I'd say a ritual setup, with a Happy Halloween sign down the side, quite a few witch hats scattered about, and then a little basket of alcohol. And that's about it. It's not a big house, it's not a cemetery, but I do think I'm going to recreate some kind of witch hut, and this is going to be my location. And for that reason, that's why it's my number 1. You can place your camp just about anywhere in the area, and then as an added bonus, if you don't want to fast travel over here, it actually is a Nuka Shine location as well, so you can just drink a bunch of Nuka Shine until you pop up here. To be honest, in the weird times we are in the game, that might be pretty fun. And that just about ends our journey for this year. I want to thank you guys for stopping by, and more importantly, is this the order you would have put it in? Or maybe you have another Halloween location that I've just never seen before. If you want to leave that down below, we can talk about it. As always, a like is appreciated, and if you want to see more Fallout content or overall entertainment like this, you can click down there on my channel and work away. As for me, I gotta get building. I'll catch you out there in the wasteland.